It's already the ninth.
Sorry?
It's already the 9th.
It's already the 9th. Yeah, here we are. We just went live on the 9th, apparently, according to Jake's best estimates. Like to welcome everybody back for another design stream, which is, quickly kind of converted into spoiler streams for the beginning era here, where we're just kind of going through the cards. I've got two guest hosts with me again tonight. Rawl and Griffin. Apparently, it's only big boys allowed in this chat.
Rip the Roman running it up in here.
Yeah, try to tie it back. We've actually had Rawl, which is actually AJ, on I think 4 of these at this point.
Yep, 4 out of 6.
4 out of 6, nice. And then Griffin, who is actually Jake, my younger brother. How many of these have you done at this point?
I don't know, 3 or 4.
3 or 4? I think it was 3. I don't know. Either way. But these two guys, pretty experienced when it comes to Flawed cards. They've been playing a lot of games. They've been around it for a while. So we're going to do the Air faction tonight. This is the last of the 6 monocolor faction spoiler streams that we're going to do, which leaves us, the kind of like the multicolor and the odds and ends, different essences and stuff like that we'll talk about next time. And then we're going to start, maybe digging a little deeper into actual design and balancing and card changes and card edits and that type of stuff. So, be on the lookout for everything to kind of change a little bit in the near future. But anyway, yeah, we're going to start off with Temple in the Skies. When do you guys want to read that? And just kind of, I think if we do this kind of from the perspective that people who are listening, we want to at least tell them what the card does, right?
Nah. Just kidding. So, Temple of the Skies, this is your shrine for air units, or air decks. The first time an air unit enters your combat zone each turn, you may draw a card. If you do, discard a card. And your HP is at 21. So, right off rip, we about to draw some cards. Air's about drawing them cards and slinging them back out into the discard. It's card advantage and more and more and more. And you'll see that more and more as we go through the essences and then into the units and spells that or events I should say. That we are about having that hand sized, fully loaded constantly.
I don't want to point any fingers and say which color's best, but there's a lot of card advantage in Air and Dark.
Let's just say that the two nicknames we go by in this Discord are both Earth cards, so that should answer your question.
Griffin and Rawl are not air cards,
all
friend.
the time.
One of the things I'll say, if I can just counter your points that you're both whining about right now.
Whining?
I think that Air is really a lot more about selection than raw advantage. They've got a lot of draw discard type effects. There are a couple pluses. There are definitely some cards that are just going to pull you ahead on total cards. I agree with that. But they just smooth. You're just really likely to see a lot of your deck, get access to different pieces of your deck as you're going through. This shrine in and of itself, it's a +0, right? You're drawing a card, discarding a card, but obviously having that selection, assuming you don't have actual 0 cards in hand, this is always going to give you smoother turns as the game goes.
Yeah, it also has pretty big value. You could turn this on turn 1. I'm not sure if there's you can't turn it on set 1. Set 1 does not have a 1-cost area.
It does not, yeah.
It does not, no. So the earliest turn 2, but
yeah. But that's what future league problems as far as how long it takes to get your value off of this card.
This is kind of thick. 21.
Yeah, pretty average. It's the average health, 20-21. Because we got 16 to 25.
In this set, it's 17 to 25, right?
Oh yeah.
Mercury Venus 17.
Yeah, so 21 is the average, right in the middle.
Dead center, basically. Yeah, pretty close.
Dead
to
center,
20,
nearly doubled.
Yeah, something like that. But no, this shrine's good. I do think that the slightly higher HP lets it lend towards slightly more controlling decks, which gives you more time to take advantage of that card selection, right? Which I think is definitely a good spot.
I think set 1 doesn't allow you to take advantage of it too much, but in the future set, there's definitely room for aggro air draws or aggro air decks that you draw your 6-mana card on turn 1, you're just I'll just discard this, move on. And just keep the aggression.
Yeah, no, that's
going.
true. It allows the selection's never bad. I'll agree with that. That if you're playing, in the future league when you actually have access to more aggressive curve out strategies that are air dominant, playing your 1-drop and getting a draw 1, discard 1 effect off of that is only going to smooth out your aggressive draw, right? You're just that much more likely to have the 2-cost card that you want, you know? So yeah, it's definitely not like it's bad in other strategies or anything. I guess my argument is with 21 HP, it's very easy to make sure you're going to get value off of that selection because you're not going to just get like run off the table.
Right. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Where are my basic essences? We'll jump into these real quick. Obviously, every color has a, hard, just stone basic essence. This is the air essence. Of course, it allows the card to produce air from the resource zone. Very simple concept there. And then we've always kind of taken a quick talk about the kind of the color pie, so to speak, and like what air represents. This is the last slice of that pie that we've been kind of developing over the last 6 weeks. And air cares about speed. So when you look at the infused air essence, you of course have 2 CCC, the same as all the others. And the result of that is +1 speed. This essence is actually insanely important on cards that you don't realize it's important on, because taking an event from 0 speed to 1 speed just changes when you can play it, right? You're going from this card always takes one of my actions to now I can at least play this in response to some things. Assuming my opponent's action is a 0 or a 1 speed action, I can start putting stuff on the stack and interacting.
It also like helps with like removal spells that are 0 speed based to like be able to respond in combat too, right?
Yep. Exactly.
Like we've seen a couple 0 speed removal spells, so this just goes, oh, now I can get them in combat rather than my turn.
Yeah.
And just looking at the combat aspect, like this makes some big boys like scary. Like something like Griffin going from 2 to 3 speed is like a problem.
Yeah, I mean
Griffin can't take it obviously, but like
because of the CCC
that was just an
issue,
example.
Yeah. Jake has played a lot of Earth decks where they have pretty much the biggest boys, and he's a pretty big fan of just like splashing air essences into his decks, even if he's not an air deck, just to speed up those big boys.
I mean,
and that's the type of thing that you can and should do.
We like religiously talked about this over now 6 streams. Yeah. Speed is so important in combat.
Yep.
So important in combat.
Comically, I like to argue that every stat matters, but like they all have diminishing returns. And once you have a bunch of one of them, you want the other one, right?
Yeah.
So like
having 10 speed deals you nothing if you only have 2 damage.
Exactly. If you're already very fast, you actually just want more power. If you're already very powerful, you probably want more speed. Well, if you're already winning fights, maybe you just need a little bit more HP so that you don't just add removal spells, right? If you already, and it just like everything is kind of cyclical in that sense that like as you're building up your cards and saying, okay, what does this card need? Having the option to say, okay, I want to go this direction, make that choice is always really important.
Yeah.
All stats matter. Absolutely. And I believe that. Speaking of all the stats, here's an essence that has all the stats.
Oh God. This essence is
has a lot of stat, not all the stats.
Blinding is so unfair. This is why it's the best color.
Yeah. So blinding essence +0 to your CCC, right? Probably think it's crap like compared to the other +0 CCC cards. Nope. This one gives +4 speed for an airlocked essence here. My God, have I been blown out by this card? Like, oh, I'll respond. Oh no, this thing has 7 speed on this deck. Oh, okay.
Before the 2 green mages here, because honestly, both of these guys do play quite a few Earth decks. So before they start crying too much, this card is airlocked. Okay, it has to. I know. I just really want to pound this point home. This card has to be bound to an air base card. You cannot put this on any old card. It's also a special essence, so obviously you're limited to only 3 copies in your deck. My entire argument around this card is that when you're playing against an air deck, you got to know that they're going to be packing 3 of these somewhere. You have to realize that like they're going to have some cards that are. Yep, I am speed exactly.
Lightning McQueen.
Yep. And this is one of those essences that because it's a 0 CCC, but it's pretty much custom, or I should say tailor-made for air decks specifically. This is one of the biggest essences that comes into debate of like, okay, I'm building my deck. Which base card does this go on? Do I want to add the speed on this card? Do I want to make this one faster? Am I using it on a unit to make the unit just like hyper fast in combat? Am I using it on an event to make the event like pseudo uncounterable, uninteractable because it's so fast on the stack that nobody can respond? It's just got a lot of options, and I've always loved the discussion about here's my air deck, where does Blinding Essence go?
Yeah, and blinding essence is also something when you're facing air decks that you got to take into account for your mulligan decisions.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we've had plenty of games where like, oh, I'm mulligan like these 2 5s and I should win, but I'm facing an air deck and I get blown out by like their 28 speed to my 10.
Yeah,
it's just like,
I've literally
oh,
named
okay.
in an air deck, blinding essence goes on an air card. It does, but which
Genius.
air card?
Yeah,
that's the big debate. Yes. Next we've got Clouded Essence.
So strong.
Gets you a little extra value. Jake, you want to spoil this one?
Yeah, I like this one a lot. There's some cracked plays you can make in later sets with this.
Oh yeah, I actually PM'd you one of those yesterday.
You did. I'm still mad about it.
For those of you, I'm just gonna go ahead and read it real quick. It's a 3 CCC with gives +1 speed. So it's similar to an infused essence, but not quite, because it also has this added ability that says when this card resolves, you may draw a card. If you do, discard a card. So it's just one more piece of selection that you can kind of add on to any card.
Yeah, it's a recurring ability you see in air.
Mm-hmm.
and this helps with some synergies with certain cards in the future too.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
It's one of the things that I haven't harped on too much is that the essences are like front loaded, right? My goal is, on release, whenever I get this thing to print, is to give the players a lot of essences up front with like kind of a bit, a set worth of the cards. And then as more sets come out within that like essences life cycle, you're going to see more of the combos, more of the synergies, and like the essences are almost going to grow into themselves as the cards get released. And this is one that really, really shines, when you get like Weathered Heart stuff and, things like that going on. But yeah, great essence, really good utility. It's only 1 CCC higher than an infused, so very easy to fit into decks.
Also +1 speed. Sick.
Yep. Here's your double infused, as we've been calling them. This is known as the Essence of Swiftness. It's a 4 CCC for +2 speed. Every color has this, right? Every color has a single essence that is basically 2 infused essences, in a trench coat, acting like a bigger essence.
Nice.
Yeah. So, we don't really have to dwell on this one too long. I will say that there are some cards that scale off speed, like specifically reference the speed stat, and this is an important essence to like consider on those cards.
Like Drown.
Like Drown.
And,
that is one of them. Like Hurricane currently.
Well, they don't know about that one yet. I didn't work with that.
Yeah.
We'll talk about Hurricane.
Oh no.
Is this?
Wait,
Jake.
I don't want to talk about
what happened with this essence? Why are you?
I don't want to talk about it.
So this is Frenzy Essence, +3 CCC. It is unit locked, which means it has to go on a unit. This card gains the type Barbarian. While it's in the combat zone, +1 power until the end of turn whenever you discard a card. So, like we said before, draw, discard, theme of the game, or name of the game here, and this essence helps you build your just straight raw power off this. And
I don't know how many.
You draw 6, discard 6. Now your guy has +6 power for the turn.
I'm going to go ahead and just put Jake directly back under the bus here. I told the story last.
Did you invite him to the stream tonight just to like
just punching bag,
roast him? Yeah.
But no, this is the essence that I mentioned last week that I put on my Thaddeus and played a couple of loot effects, draw, discard, whatever. Got him up to like 5 power, 6 power, and then just said, okay, I attack you. I pay 2 light, I recover my guy, I attack you again. I pay 2 light, I recover my guy, I attack you again. And it was the first recorded pure OTK, deal your entire shrine's HP worth of damage in 1 turn, in history of Flawed. And it's the type of thing that, you look at this essence and you look at Thaddeus and you don't automatically think, maybe my cleric character that heals all the damage off of my different cards should become a barbarian and just go berserk in the combat zone. You could do that sort of thing.
Yeah, that was
deck building.
Wasn't paying attention.
And
I don't know if we mentioned this. I think we mentioned this once or twice before, but when you guys really start deep diving into the game, learn the essences first.
Yes.
It's going to make deck building easier, and it's also going to make your life during the game a lot easier too.
Yes. A lot of times when somebody plays a card, you just think to look at the card, and you don't Yeah, build your own Splinter Twin.
Build your own Splinter Twin.
Basically, that's what happened.
Well, until it gets banned. Just kidding. Just kidding.
No. We're not doing that.
I know, but I'm still hurt about Splinter Twin.
I understand. I'm hurt about Birthing Pod. Okay, next we've got Pure Air Essence. This is the like.
I forgot about this one, dude. Air Essences are broken.
They're fine. They're good. They've got some things going for them.
Dude, I feel like Earth is just weak.
If I'm being very honest, Air is the only color in this first brick of essences here that has two essences that are both airlocked, right? None of the other colors have double, like, elementally locked essences. So Air being as strong as it may appear, you at least are, like, facing it, in Air decks, and you can put yourself in the headspace to say, okay, I'm playing an Air deck. I know that they have these tools, and like when you know exactly what they're about at that point, But Pure Air Essence, 3 CCC +1 speed. As I said, it's airlocked. When this card resolves, you may discard a card. If you do, exhaust target unit. So this is a good example of how the Air deck can make use out of the cards in their hand, even without playing them sometimes.
Have we had exhaust?
Just, I think so. It's in the key terms page.
Sure.
But it's the opposite of recover. Basically, you take their guy from being in the neutral position, turn it sideways as if it had been used for the turn, which is going to deny it the ability to attack or defend or activate its own abilities or whatever.
Yep, and it also helps you allow you, because you can attack exhausted units, so sometimes you just rest an annoying unit or exhaust an annoying unit and then you start punching into it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This can be leveraged as a removal effect. Which is
all right. The amount of puns TDM CP is posted in chat right now.
Breath of fresh air. Nice.
He's going crazy. If it's made of air, can it really be broken?
I love
He's going for it.
All right. I think this is the final Air Essence. This is the Air Essence that adds an air to the cost. So again, this is another essence that when you see it is going to be in a pretty dedicated air deck because you obviously have to be able to pay for it. It's another 3 CCC, another +1 speed. So very similar kind of framework to a lot of these. But this one says when it resolves, just draw a card outright, just +1.
OP.
I mean, I like this card a lot. I think this card's really important. But
I mean, think of it this way: like, I would play a card that said draw 1 if it costs 1. So considering that's a part of the card now, and you just get speed as well, it's like a really nice 2.
I'm drawn to design like this, Jesus. So let me pose a question to you, Jake. Since you're so like hung up on this card and like the ability to
all
draw,
these essences,
when you look at Whispering Essence compared to Pure Dark Essence, like where does your head go? Which one's really messing you up?
Pure Dark Essence.
Yeah, if you're looking at these two side by side, we're just gonna take a quick. This is a very quick compare and contrast. I just want to know what you think of these two.
I think Pure is good.
It is good.
But I think the extra speed kind of just like makes the 1 extra cost fit.
Yeah.
Okay. Dude, +2 initiative is cracked, bro.
It can be. +2 initiative can matter a lot. Yeah.
I mean, you technically get +1 initiative on the Whispering Essence.
Also true.
True. But you can put this on your continuous.
And also,
event.
like, you can play whatever card is Whispering on it. It doesn't have to be the first action. You get the draw no matter what.
Also true.
And sometimes you don't have a choice. You might have to play the card with the Pure Dark Essence after your first action, so the essence isn't really doing you anything.
Okay. So you're making the claim that like Pure Dark Essence is a little too restrictive, and the fact that Whispering is just like a raw +1 at all times, just OP. Can't be defeated.
We drawing cards.
Yeah, they are drawing cards.
I mean, okay. I mean, I'll take that. I'll take that argument. I play a lot of Whispering Essence. If I'm playing an air deck, I'm obviously looking where I can fit through Whispering Essence in. But I just
What was this guy's name before?
I don't know if I agree with your statement that I would play a card in my deck that just said pay 1, draw a card. Like if it was just a 1-cost event that said draw a card. I don't know if I would play that. So
what about draw 2, discard 1?
I would play that because selection.
All right, let's get into it. Let's get into these units, man.
Yeah. Anybody want to take this one from the top?
No, because I'm scared I'm going to mess up the name, so you got it.
Oh, okay. Jake?
Aesthetic. Unit, Human Warrior. Swift Strike 3. Swift Strike increases damage while in combat with a unit with less speed. That's a very important stat.
Yeah.
It's really it's quite strong in air decks. Because this guy most of the time will end up having 3 speed anyway. So he's going to be hitting a lot of the slower units for like 5 at a time, which is kind of insane.
It is kind of insane.
It's 3 HP, 2 power, 2 speed.
Yeah, on a 3-cost unit. So Jake just said, since this guy is 4 CCC, it's very, very unlikely that I'm putting him in my deck and not adding at least an infused air essence onto him to put his speed up to a 3, giving him really good chances of triggering that Swift Strike for the extra damage, right? And that's true. But now we get to automatically, just instantly jump into the conversation. But what if I put Blinding Essence on this guy and he's got 6 speed?
Well, he's doing 5 to a lot of people.
And now he's just bashing everything for 5, right? And this is where that opportunity cost discussion starts, like, immediately, right? Like, literally the first air card, it's like, oh, I can put Blinding Essence on this. But as we're going through the list, you're going to be like, oh, I can put Blinding Essence on this. Oh, I can put Blinding Essence on this. Exactly.
I can put Blinding Essence.
So it very quickly becomes this, like, again, it's like an opportunity cost comparison. You have to say, okay, which card do I want it on the most? Because I'm going to make one of these cards literally I Am Speed, which is apparently a race car with a hedgehog inside of it. And
it's Lightning McQueen with Sonic in it.
Just trying not to use copyrighted names, but yeah.
We're fine.
Okay, we're fine.
Yeah.
Here's one. Look at that. 2 cards in, and we've already seen double card that I think take Blinding Essence. Burst of Speed. This is a 1 air event that says target unit gains Swift Strike 2 and speed equal to this card's speed until end of turn. So it's basically build your own aesthetic, right? Like you're pretty much making the character we just saw on an event.
This thing is like, I don't think you ever really even need to put Blinding. I think Essence of Swiftness is very good.
Yeah.
Even just infused air is really good on this. Sometimes 1 speed is all you need
to be faster. Yeah, I agree. This card is like kind of the ultimate combat trick too, because you suddenly become faster in the middle of combat, like before damage, and also get a big boost to damage. Also, yeah. It's like, I'm going to hit you hard.
This thing is theoretically 3 stat points for 1 mana.
Yeah. First strike, go burr. Yeah, exactly.
No, Swift Strike, go burr.
Swift Strike and first strike, because you're being faster, and then also just blasting them. Now, this card is sweet. I recently actually built the most recent Air X aggro deck that I built had a full playset of these in it, and I was like, I hadn't played it in a while. I had kind of been off this card for a little bit, and like getting it back out, I was like, yeah, I like this. This is a strong boy. I like this one.
It only costs 1. It's really good.
It's so easy to like weave into your combat turns, and like having such a powerful trick at 1 just makes it where like you get to be aggressive, and then as soon as they put out their first big like, this is the defensive thing that's supposed to help me turn the corner, you just get to blast through that one too,
Feels bad.
I'm winning the board. Nope, no, I'm not.
No, you're not. You thought you were. Okay, Call Lightning. Maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe not a great contender for Blinding Essence, but technically
my boy,
right?
I love this card.
Yeah,
so Call Lightning, 1 of anything in an air. It's an event. Deal damage equal to target unit equal to this card's power. Airbound +1 power. Has 2 CCC, 0 HP, 2 power, 1 speed base.
Yeah.
This card sees a ton of play currently, and it has seen. This card I think has seen the most essences that I've seen on like switched up on it. This thing,
Really? This one takes a lot. This one has a lot of options.
Because there's been Essence of Might, like multiple different of air essences, some dual essences.
Yeah.
This one is taking a ton of different essences that I've seen. I think every time I've seen a new deck get made with Call Lightning, it has a different essence on it.
Yeah, I mean, this essence has had Soulful, it's had Might, it's had the +1 cost Torrid, it's had Pure Air, it's had Clouded, it's had, there have been decks where I've built and I'm just like not that heavy on air in the deck, and I'm just like, oh, I haven't used Essence of Swiftness or Blinding Essence yet. Technically, I can toss them on this, and it adds the power, so you're still getting the 3 damage that you want off it, but now it's like that much faster, your opponent can't respond, right? And like that's, you're always getting value off this card. Like, so many of those essences like are all in consideration for how you want to play it, how much damage you want to get off it, how fast you want it to be, what role it's playing in your deck. Is it more for during combat? Are you just using this raw removal? Are you prepping first? Like, there are just 100 questions to ask for this card, and like
Essence of Might is really ugly.
It never feels bad. It never feels bad. Jalen at OTK says in chat, this is like a top 5 card. He might be right. This card is super heavily played. If you're playing an air deck, like this is a staple. This is a card you're just
even if you're only like small splash of air, like you're leaning into air for even like a small little bit, you're like, can I fit Call Lightning now?
It's good interaction.
Yeah,
it's really good.
Yeah, great. I mean, we could probably sit here and talk about how
I could talk about Call Lightning for 2 hours.
Useful this card is for a while, but yeah, I think we go ahead and jump into the next. This is a new one. This actually got downshifted from a future set and had like been actually this got downshifted from a set that hadn't even been in print yet. This was like way future league. Yeah, this was on a like to-do list somewhere, and I said, you know what? I don't have enough continuous events in set 1. Let's see what we can do with this.
Swift decks like.
Yeah, so just so y'all know, Ken said he didn't make enough continuous events in set 1, and then made like 2 or 3
wait a minute.
like
this
broken
stacks,
ones.
Right?
These do stack, Jake.
They do stack.
Gross.
You can actually like daze their entire team. Yes,
Ugh.
0 speed.
Yes.
Yeah. So you were saying that out loud as TDMCP was like figuring it out in the chat. He's like 0 speed means no damage, right?
Yes. But you do have to discard a card at the end of your turn. So Call wins, triple air, continuous event. Non-air units have -1 speed. At the end of turn, discard a card or destroy this card. So let it be known that it does hit your non-air units as well.
Yes.
So be careful if you're playing like a 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 color deck, 6 color deck. Like you gotta watch out that you're also gonna lose some speed on your non-air units.
Ruben's asking the big question. I know he's not saying the exact name, but he says is Weathering in set 1. He's talking about Weathered Heart, which is a card that we will see in the future league at some point. But Ruben, no, it's a set 2 card. You're gonna have to pay for this the honest way for now.
Yep.
No, you're good, Ruben. But no, this is the type of card, and this is actually a cool card. There's some things that you don't realize on this, right? Because this is a continuous event, you can do things like assuming you add some type of air essence to it, get it up to at least 1 speed, you can play this in combat, right? You can attack, they defend, you jam this thing into play, their guy goes down a speed, your Swift Strike procs, you just bash their first unit, and now they just don't want to defend for the rest of the turn. They're like, oh, I literally can't win any combats, I just have to like eat it all. And then at the end of the turn comes and you're like, okay, I already got my +1 off this, I killed one of your guys for free because I negged you, I'm just going to not discard, I'm going to let this thing go. I got the value that I need off of it. Or if, you're pressuring a lot and you want to set it, you want to keep it around for a turn or 2 just to really push that combat advantage. Okay, I'll discard 1. Fine. We'll play the entire next turn with you being down 1, right? And it gives a lot of like control and a lot of like options to the player playing it, even though it's a pretty harsh cost. I mean, discard a card every turn is that's expensive to like keep a card in play that you already played triple air to get into play, right? But yeah, this is a card that I'm really excited about. I want to see kind of how it plays. We haven't really gotten it into play much. Like I said, this just got downshifted, so we're gonna have to get some looks at this.
I think it's fine. No playtesting needed. Woo!
Oh shit!
Another one of my favorites that recently got changed, and I'm kind of upset about it, but it's okay.
I think it got buffed in all.
It's a good change. Good change. Like 2 cards.
Oh, because you didn't have to discard before.
But it wasn't both. It was one or the other.
Yeah, but it dazed before, and dazing is disgusting. But anyway,
still does.
This is. Yeah, I know, but without the discard. I'm saying without the discard.
Yeah. This can target 3 cards now, right?
Yes.
Yes.
That's insane.
So, fight the wind for double air. Exhaust up to 2 target units. Airbound, you may discard a card to daze target unit. Remember, daze is setting a unit's speed to 0.
Yeah. So
you can effectively get rid of like 3 blockers.
Yeah, Jake already spoiled, basically, spilled the beans on this one. This pretty much is, I'm going to Alpha Strike you this turn. I'm going in with everybody. This card's scary. This card's really scary.
Give Essence that on destruction sends a resource, please. There is.
There is, but it's Earth locked. You can't put it on.
Yeah.
You can't put it on that card. Partially by design.
Partially, you mean fully by design?
Fully by design, yeah.
Don't lie to
Earth giving the ability to other cards to become resources was a little broken. We actually tried it that way for a while, and it was it's not okay.
Busted.
Yeah, it's not okay.
It was so much fun.
Really, really not okay. But no, yeah, I mean, there's not a ton of like flair to this one. I will say it is a -2, right? So like you're playing Fight the Wind out of your hand, which doesn't intrinsically actually get rid of any of their cards. It just exhausts 2 of them. And then you're discarding a card to daze one, which also technically doesn't actually get rid of any cards. So you're going -2, right?
Yeah. Theoretically to hit 3.
So if your Alpha Strike isn't really, really, really good this turn, you know, you might just like kind of pitch your whole hand, and if they have some interaction or they can play some defenders after the fact, you know, it might not really get you where you want it to get you, but it can be really good in the right situation.
Yeah.
Travis says WTF is Daze. Daze is like a status effect, and what it does is it sets the target card's speed to 0 for the rest of the turn, and their speed cannot be increased for the rest of the turn. It's hard locked at 0.
Oh, I see. We just don't listen to when I say it. I got it. I understand. Might as well just leave the stream.
Which, as you set up above, 0 means no damage. So you're basically taking that guy out of combat for the turn.
Yep.
Jalen says shook.
Very funny.
Good leave, AJ. Yeah.
Brutal.
Yep.
All right.
Says the guy that has 1 match win out of 55 games.
Whoa,
That's
there's
fine.
no way he's played 55. He also has the fastest match win in history, so you know.
That's fair.
You got to give Cam a lot of credit. He's played a lot of long games that he was not winning, and a lot of short games that he was winning. So he's really investing, you know, some hard fought hours.
I didn't invest 55 hours to win 1 game.
Invisible Force is set 1, right?
Invisible Force is set 1. Yeah, we're gonna see that one next week.
If this card is strong, then that card is blessed.
This card doesn't say unit anywhere on it. You have to.
That's valid.
You have to keep that in mind. And is 1 color, and has more CCC space, and is only 1 pip of colored symbols in the top right corner. And
yeah, but anyways, this is Gus. This is 2 of anything in an air. It's an event. Return target non-shrine card in a combat zone to its owner's hand with 3 CCC and 0 printed speed. The relevant text here.
So sometimes your opponent just has like a 6-cost structure out, and you want that thing out of your way, and you just, you know, gust it.
Or sometimes they spend 6 mana to play Griffin, and you gusted, and you know sometimes you just like reset them for a turn. You're like, oh yeah.
Against the later set cards that have like prerequisites to actually being played.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's also really good mid combat when they go defend with their gigantic thing that you don't have like removal that can kill it, and you just go send that back. Attack goes.
Have we talked about no phantom blocking?
I mean, I'm sure it's come up at least once or twice, but yeah, we'll just do it again here real quick. Phantom blocking, kind of a colloquial term, but in Flawed, if you declare a defense with one of your units, and that unit moves out of the way, whether it's via a gust or a call lightning or something takes that unit out of the combat prior to the damage step, the damage carries through to the original target of the attack. Whatever you were sending your attack into, whether it's the shrine or an exhausted unit or whatever. So if you gust a defender out of the way to, you know, attack the shrine for lethal, you know, who cares if this doesn't actually kill it or whatever? This is just like, it targets anything. It's just like, please move. I want to do what I was doing, you know?
Excuse me.
Yeah, excuse me. Exactly. So yeah, this is a sweet card. I've actually played this a lot, like a long time ago when we were back playing set 1 stuff when there only was 1 set. I used to play this card a ton, and I've honestly kind of gotten away from it lately, and I wonder why. I think I need to get it back out.
We're testing.
The reason that's true. The reason you're getting away from cards is that there's so many fun cards to play, and they never fit in one deck.
That's true. Yeah, Ruben's brought up a good point. This can bounce like continuous events. This can get rid of a Turn the Tides. This can do. Imagine tapping 6 for your Turn the Tides. Your Turn the Tides is 0 speed, so you just have to wait for your next action to activate it, and your opponent just goes gust that back to your hand. Like, how do you not just lose that game like on the spot?
Yeah.
Maybe that's the answer. Maybe we're complaining about Turn the Tides because not enough gust is being played.
True. This card is very fun.
This card's amazing. Why are you playing turn on 6 and not like 10? Hey, if you're playing Turn the Tides on 10, you still can't play it back down. You're still wrecked. Yeah, Cam says, got it. No nerfing Turn the Tides. He wants that card to stay the way that it is so badly.
He's played it 1 time, maybe twice.
I know. If that actually, I don't know if he ever has cast it. I don't know if he's ever gotten the chance to play it. I think that he's played it 0 times. He has? Okay. Highland Isolationist. This is a 3-cost, 1 of any, and 2 air for a human barbarian. It says, while this is the only unit in your combat zone, it gains +2 HP, +2 power, and +2 speed. Which makes it a total of 5 HP, 4 power, 4 speed before its essence.
Big.
This guy is enormous. Enormous.
For a 3-cost?
Yeah.
Like, he's legit. He shines in decks that don't care about a big board say or like anything with like a structure deck. Because it still kicks in if you have like 4 structures out.
Correct.
Still gets his buff.
It only counts units. That's a very important thing. We saw last week, Guard Shack is probably the main player with this guy, which is a structure that defends as if it were a unit. You basically get, to have 2 units in play while only technically having 1 unit in play, and this guy gets to keep his buff, which, that's a common strategy. People have definitely played, that type of strategy a number of times, and this guy shines. I mean, his stat line is obviously enormous for his cost.
Yeah, like you do nothing turn 1, play guard check turn 2, and this guy turn 3. Like, that's a hell of a board state. Like, that's scary.
I mean, your opponent has to have something to deal with this guy.
5-2-2-2 and a 5-4-4.
Yeah,
all within 2 cards.
Yeah, and this is almost certainly going to be bigger than that, right? You're either going to add an HP, a power, or a speed to this guy, like, a lot of the time. Maybe you give him evasion. Maybe you give him, there are options, but, like, you're going to put an essence on him that does something, right? Like, he's just so big. Yeah, don't tell aggro players. I mean, could you imagine that, like, an actual, rather than aggro deck, like more of a burn deck that just didn't play that unit heavy and just drop this on you on turn 3? Like,
Yeah.
Like their turn 1 is just like
all
whispers
burn
in the
spells.
wind, like draw 2, discard 1, so their hand is like perfectly crafted. Turn 2, they just go like ram the gates. Turn 3, they're like isolationist.
They don't know about whisper.
What's up?
Yep.
Ruben says shh. Yeah, that could actually be a list. We need to look at that. It says it's in the works. Wait, this is the guy for the
We were talking
oh
about at work.
the hypothetical lessons we were talking about this afternoon.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, can I hear?
I'm not gonna.
Yeah,
I
don't
want
want
to talk about it publicly.
Not on stream.
We can.
Yeah.
Remind me at the end, Jake, and I'll bring it up.
I will.
I got it. Yeah.
Oh, this card. Should we just skip it?
This card already is new iteration and being tested. Broken. But anyways, I mean, as is on the screen, it's Hurricane, 2 of anything, air, triple air, event, deal damage to this card, speed to all exhausted units, 2 CCC, 0 HP, 0 power, 3 speed. Yes, you hit the nail right on the head, TDM.
So it's been a minute since we said the sentence, oh, Blinding Essence goes on this. So, but here it is. 7 speed makes this all but uncounterable. It's so fast that almost nothing can respond to it.
Yep.
It only hits exhausted units, so it's very easy to set up a board state where your opponent has many more exhausted units than you do, either if you're chump blocking or just taking a couple hits on the chin or whatever it is.
Or fight with the wind. And
yeah, exactly. Basically, this card's not okay. We're gonna actually revisit this card at the end of the stream, or maybe we just do it right now.
Do you have the other version up right now?
I've got it on InDesign. Yeah, I've got it open right here. I planned on talking about it.
You just want to show it? I mean, we're here right now. Might as well, right?
We can stick to Hurricane and do it all
We
together.
won't stick too long because we still got all the other stuff.
Yeah, but basically what has kind of come to our attention, and I'm almost ashamed that it took this long to figure out, is originally when this card was designed, the thought process was, oh, it only hits exhausted units. So it's like, you're never going to get like a full Wrath of God effect out of it. You're never going to kill everything, right? It's just not how it plays. It just is.
You kill everything.
You just kill everything that they have most of the time. Most of the time, you're just setting up a board where you leave one or two of your guys out of the Hurricane, and all of theirs die, and it's just too good. This is just too good.
This card, as is red, destroy all your opponent's units, leave your units alone.
Yeah, uncounterable.
Yeah, uncounterable.
So this is the version that we're trying out right now. It's kind of reminiscent of Call Lightning. It brings a little bit of that feel to it. It's got a lot of very interesting essence choices. Again, you've got air options to add it some power. Essence of Might can bump it up 2. Torrid Essence can do bump it up. There's a lot you can do with this card. Still takes a soulful
Regeki.
Yeah, Plague Wind. We've actually used that term internally a couple times. That Hurricane is just an uncounterable 5-cost Plague Wind, and as you can see, that card costs 9 from another game. So why are we doing it for half price here? It's a little ridiculous. But this card actually fills a role. Like this version of it here, Hurricane, the 3-cost version on the screen, is something I'm leaning into a little bit more. I like the idea that it's a little bit more of like an anti-spam card rather than just a full-on kill everything. I don't love that we're losing a Blinding Essence option because I really do like.
What are you talking about? We have 40 Blinding Essence options.
I know, but I think
we're going down to 39 instead. Oh no!
I think every
How
time,
could we?
I think every time you get rid of a card that really cares about Blinding Essence, it's a ninja buff to Blinding Essence, right? Like,
yeah, that's true.
The deck gains power while still being able to put it on the most optimized cards. You gotta be cautious of that. But anyway, yeah, this is very much in flux right now. This is a card that we might actually do a bit of a showcase on, like 2 weeks from now, when we actually start deep diving into more design choices and like tinkering and like getting a little bit more player feedback, community feedback, start getting more gameplay and stuff like that. This is definitely going to be on the horizon, but keep your eyes peeled for what happens with this one. On to the next.
Oh. My boy.
Oh shit!
I love this card.
more busted card.
Yeah. So
this is
Lightning Warrior. 3 of anything. Air. Unit. Human Warrior. Airbound. +1 power. Whenever you play an air event, this card gains +1 power and +1 speed until end of turn. Then it has the ability while in the combat zone. Pay an air and tap this. Daze this card. Deal damage equal to this card's power to target unit. With
4 HP,
2 CC,
power,
yeah,
2 speed with a 2 CCC. Yep. This card's awesome. This card is like one of the best finishers in the game, just because like if you didn't control the board, you do now.
Yep, helps you control the board, and it can also help you push that final damage with, play a couple air vents, and all of a sudden you have like a 5-6 power beater, and just like
just realizing.
Going.
So, I was doing that mirror match with that one dude. We both had Lightning Warrior out.
Mm-hmm.
If you actually just like save something like what's the 1-cost air event called, like Whispers in the Wind or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
You actually just save something like that, all of a sudden like you're killing their Lightning Warrior instead.
Unless what you're doing is you're forcing them to activate in response to your Whispers, right?
Yeah.
Because you place Whispers on the stack, they get first priority back from that. Your Lightning Warrior has already gained power and speed because it's an automatic trigger. But as long as they immediately respond with Whispers on the stack still, you don't have the opportunity to shoot them. Now, if they don't immediately respond, send me that. You can PM it to me right now if you want, and I'll help you get it sorted out after the stream. TDMCP just asked about getting started on Steam, which we're going to be hopefully getting a lot more people involved because I want to see games. But yeah, if they respond to your Whispers, they're fine. If they mess up and go, okay, Whispers resolves, then you are opening the opportunity for you to be able to activate Lightning Warrior at higher speed than theirs, right? There's also something that you didn't think about is you were playing an exact card for card mirror. What about the situations where your Lightning Warrior has Essence of Air and Earth on it, giving it +1 power from Airbound? What about their Lightning Warrior has Swift Essence on it, so it has 4 speed? Right?
Yeah.
Now, if you ever let them activate, you can't activate in response. So now you're getting like super pinched, right? What if their Lightning Warrior has like +1 HP and you can't get up to 4 power to kill it, right? What if they've got like there are a lot like even inside of the Lightning Warrior versus Lightning Warrior meta, there are a lot of ways to kind of build this card to plan out ways to try to irk out little bits of advantage and stuff, and that I love those. It's a little lame because you guys were playing literally like the exact same deck twice. You just copy and pasted the same deck twice. So you were playing literally all the same cards. But there are tons of opportunities to make that a lot more interesting, I feel.
Yeah. And like you said, in any format you have, you're definitely not going to see the exact decks going up against each other.
Exactly.
It's impossible.
And yeah, even if like this is one of those spots for like interesting like innovation, right? It's like, oh, I know that a lot of people are playing Lightning Warrior. Let me add this essence so that mine is like better against other Lightning Warriors, but like worse against other things, right? Or whatever. And you can start to even like customize your deck to figure out where your shortcomings are. I'm playing an air deck and like Lightning Warrior is all the rage. Well, that's 4 HP. Maybe I should put like +2 damage on my Call Lightning so I can blast them for 4 and like remove them without having to play. You get what I'm saying? Like if you use introspection and say, what is my deck soft against? What am I weak against? You can make the adjustments to get better in that area, right? And even if you don't know like a perfect like snapshot of the metagame, so to speak, or you don't know what everybody's playing, by getting repetitions with your own deck, you can start to learn what your deck is weak against, right? And then even if you're not preparing for like exact lists or exact cards or whatever, you can like make those adjustments. Next card. Oh God.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Let's go. So,
Oh,
on
God.
to the epic unit of air. This is Little Breeze, a new way. This is 2 of anything into double air. Epic unit, human, shaman. When this card enter play, draw a card. Airbound. When this card enter play, draw a card. Also has the ability to pay 1, discard a card, exhaust target unit. So at 4 mana, you get a 4 HP, 2 power, 2 speed guy that draws you 2 cards and has the ability to remove units from like combat before it happens.
All I see is 4 cost, draw 2 on a body.
But why stop there? You
Why
can make
stop
him a
there?
5 cost.
Oh,
Draws
You make
3.
a 5 cost, draw 3, and you just can start activating its
Do these two go together? I can't tell.
Even
Can somebody
better,
help?
3.
make him cost 5. Playing with the air shrine, you're drawing 4, discard 1.
Yeah.
Yep.
Maximum value.
So I actually kind of am not 100% convinced that you want to put Whispering Essence on Little Breeze. I think if your deck is really heavy air, you obviously can get away with it. But I think that 4 cost draw 2 is like arguably good enough. It's just fine. Put another essence on him that makes him do many other things is always an option. I've played this.
You can put Blinding Essence on him and activate your ability at uncounterable speed.
I actually like this guy a lot with Frenzied Essence. Turn him into a barbarian so that when he's exhausting units, he's pumping himself.
That's really good.
I like that one a lot. Just an option. You know, there are. I've played this guy without air essences. I've played this guy as a 4 cost draw 1 before. I'm not sure that it's like
you lie.
I have. I've played Essence of Evasion on this guy a number of times.
He has.
That's actually not bad.
It's not bad. See, because like if this guy doesn't go away, you're just like pressuring so much. Because, like
as great as drawing cards is, that third ability, I sleep on it a lot. I
really
honestly
strong.
like sleep on it so hard. The one day I read it again, like, oh, I totally forgot he did this.
I just was reading him as a 4 cost draw 2, which is obviously a huge punchline to start with, but that third ability matters a ton.
Third ability is strong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's clearly an epic unit. This is one of my favorite epic units. This is the card that I like. This was one of the first cards I ever made, and his text box has, I think, not changed. I think this is basically exactly what he's always been. I think he's been a 2/4/2/2 the entire time. I think he's cost 4 the entire time. I am really struggling to remember if a single letter has changed on this card, and he just has always been strong, but like answerable, you know, playable, but like not game ending. Like he's just always felt like he's right there in that spot where I'm like, whenever I draw him, I'm just like, yes. And then like, you know, whenever my opponent plays, I'm like, ooh, I got to figure out how to deal with that guy. And it's just, it always creates this most like dramatic game state.
Feels bad to play him at 5 and get him banished.
True. That's the other thing. Yeah. If you're investing the extra resources into him, I mean, counterspells do exist. Like it's kind of scary. Get good. Yeah. Why are you getting countered?
Point.
Jalen's favorite card.
This is a new card. It's very good.
So we've got Quarterstaff. This is the one of the items from Air in the first set. Costs 1 of anything and an air. It's an item that links to a unit you own. It's a little bit of an awkward phrase, but you have to put that on items that like kind of exhaust the unit that they are attached to. Otherwise, you could kind of use it to like, you could like tap your opponent's guy, exhaust your opponent's guy, to activate an ability. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's just a little bit of verbiage that has to be included in order to make sure that this is like not misused, I guess. Yeah, it's Quarterstaff, so it says if linked unit is air, it gains a +1 speed, so you're making your speedy boys even speedier. And then you can pay double air and exhaust the unit that it's linked to, or I guess it says exhaust linked unit. And the result of that is that you get to daze target unit. So you're just basically like blasting somebody in the head with the Quarterstaff, and they're just going to stand there like wondering what happened.
Yeah. Second ability is pretty good.
It's really strong.
All abilities are really strong.
The whole card's great. I mean, we've kind of beaten the dead horse at this point, but like when you play a deck that has big boys in it, giving them speed often matters a lot, right? So this is another one of those cards where, you know, it could just put certain cards over the edge. You know, if you've got like a card that's got a lot of Swift Strike, but you're having trouble triggering it, bam, get that extra point of speed. You know, whatever you need. We haven't said it in a couple of cards, but this is another huge contender for Blinding Essence because it's got 6 CCC and 0 speed. It may not be immediately obvious, but that activated ability, if you leave Quarterstaff at 0 speed, that activated ability is going to take an action. You have to actually use the action to activate an ability. But if you put a Blinding Essence on this, crank it up to 4 speed, now you're just dazing things in the middle of combat, dazing them in response to attacks, whatever. And that gets real ugly real quick. Maybe Blinding Essence needs to be looked at.
True.
I think the opposite. I think that the more cards you have that are good with Blinding Essence, the weaker it gets, because then your deck is just strained to figure out where to put it.
I'm on Team Jalen. Forget Blinding Essence.
Forget Blinding Essence. Yeah, I don't know. Weird. Yeah, Jalen and Jake don't usually agree about a lot.
Yeah, look what you've done, Kenny.
Yeah, but you always put it. True, but like every color has a couple of essences that are like, if I'm in this color, I'm in it because these essences exist. If I'm playing an Earth deck, I'm not leaving Essence of the Bounty and Essence of the Guardian out of my deck. Those are getting in there. They're gonna be in my deck. Like it's just, some of them are like the marquee essences for a given color, and Blinding is.
I'm curious to make a deck that like goes out of its way to use only basic essences.
Really?
And see how unplayable that is.
That's what you want to do? Make your deck building as boring as possible? Okay.
Oh, man.
This is a big one. I like this card a lot.
It's a ton of words on here.
It has a few. Another great card for Blinding Essence, by the way. Somebody else want to spoil this one for me? I'm getting a little coarse in my throat.
What? I spoiled more than half. Whatever.
Sure, I got it.
Jake's got this
one.
AJ? I just did Quarterstaff.
Quicksilver Wings. The Mystic Headpiece. So there's going to be more Quicksilver Wings in the future.
There might. Oh, wait. Do you have something? Do you have some inside scoop that I don't know about?
Yeah, Mystic Kneecaps.
Oh wait, there actually is something.
Actually, already is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The new one's actually kind of insane. The set 4 one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
Epic item to unit. So this can go on anybody. Linked unit gains this card's speed. So yeah, it's really good for Blinding Essence because all of a sudden it's gained 4 speed. If linked unit is air, it gains whenever you discard a card, recover this card. That's a fantastic ability. Did you change this card recently, or is this how it's always been?
This is how it's always been.
God, I feel like I've never read this card before. That's really strong.
Trapped.
1, discard a card, return another target item or continuous event to its owner's hand. This card's insane. What? Is this my first time reading it?
It must be.
This card's insane.
I love the chat right now. Travis is just like, that second effect is insanity. That second effect is a mistake. Jalen's just like, why is it every time I read a card, it's just like the new thing blowing my mind? Ruben's calling Jake out. Why do you have this trash player spoiling cards? Oh, I love it.
They didn't even mention how much it costs.
Yeah.
Double
It
air.
only costs 2. That's remarkable.
Yeah. So this card's awesome. I have always been of the opinion that this thing has been criminally underplayed. This card was in the OTK deck that I one-shot you with, Jake. You just maybe didn't see it.
I guess not.
This card is such a versatile card. It's going to crank up the speed so you're winning combat. It's going to give you recovery effects. So you can get multiple defenses, multiple attacks, whatever you need. And it even gives you some versatility to like beat other items / beat other continuous events through tempo. I mean, you don't destroy them. I mean, you're discarding a card just to temporarily get rid of them. But like, this is a Swiss Army knife card. This thing does so freaking much when you get it into play.
Yeah. Also, Turnitize is too strong. Play Quicksilver Wings.
Go ahead and send that back to your hand real quick. Real quick, Silver Wings. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, this card's gonna give you a savage beating. This is savage. 1 of anything in an air. At the end of your turn, discard a card. 4 CC, 3 HP, 3 power, 3 speed. So this is a 2 mana, 3/3/3, printed and ready to rumble. I've seen this card in numerous amount of aggro decks, and this thing is a headache from start to finish.
It's a lot of stat points.
It's a really big body for 2.
And the cool thing is when you run out of cards,
right,
you just don't care. You're like, oh, go to discard. Oh, darn, whatever. So, anyways, here's my 3/3/3.
Yeah, unlike the triple air card that makes you discard or destroy it. With this one, it's less restrictive, right? That one basically says if you didn't discard a card, you're going to lose the thing that's in play. This one just wants you to discard, and like you said, if I've dumped my entire hand and I'm just beating your head in with what I've got in play, this guy's just going to keep doing that. He just keep attacking, keep being there. And yeah, I wonder at times if this card's a little strong. The Barbarian tag on him makes him really good in the aggro decks that are playing Sparring Ring and stuff like that. The stat line is enormous, but I don't know. I think this guy needs like more reps. Honestly, I haven't had a lot of people play him, and I think people read that and they say, "Oh, I've discarded a whole card," and their knee-jerk reaction is that's like a really expensive cost. This is really scary. Like I don't want this, in my deck. But like, you have to kind of unlearn a lot of what you've learned in other games. In Flawed, you're drawing more cards, right? Like both players are getting a chance at a prep action every round. You're always going to make your resource play. You don't have to worry about like missing land drops or not having your colors most of the time because your hand is so diverse and full of different, resource plays and stuff. And like being able to smooth out all of your patterns and experiences in a given game makes something like this like less painful, because just like pitching an extra card or two throughout the course of the game isn't as bad when you're getting so much upside to just having this gigantic body like coming in.
Oh, okay. So he meant, I was reading the chat. I was confused. I thought he meant like if he'd use the gust on his own savage. I was confused.
Everyone understood that but you.
I think he's saying you use Quicksilver Wings on their Quicksilver Wings. In response, I gust your Quicksilver Wings.
No, he's talking about Savage. He's talking about returning Savage when they go to discard. So Savage is in their hand, they discard.
No, it's at the end of the turn. It's a trigger at the end of the turn, so wouldn't.
Yeah, there's no priority at the end of the turn. You can't do that. You only get priority in response to your opponent's actions. So if the actions are all over with, if both players have said pass, that like end of turn cleanup step, you just like manage the game. There's no actual like player interaction at that point. So things like this will trigger like any other. You should
blame the game dev.
Blame me for coming up with a thing that's like really easy to follow. Yeah, it's such a terrible
thing. I want complications and I want my headaches every time.
I want to be able to stack up 62,000 different effects and make sure nobody can resolve any of them. Let's go. I say that, but I bet Jalen's about to jump in and be like,
a whole bunch of Magic players start typing here. Fled does what we like.
Flawed humility when. Probably never, Cam. I'm just gonna keep acting this way. All right.
That's not what he meant, but.
Oh, lose all abilities. Okay.
Yes.
Maybe that's what he meant.
He's still going.
Yeah, I knew what Cam meant.
Copy and paste for him.
Cam as another card game judge does not like certain cards.
Yeah.
Oh, flawed Chaos World one.
Yeah. What's
Warp World?
Yeah, that's the one.
This card is very strong against like Totem.
This card is the one that gets the Whispering Essence. This is Shaman of the Gale, 2 of anything, air, unit, human shaman. When this card enters play, draw a card. When this card enters play, discard any number of cards to deal equal amount of damage to all other units for a 1 CCC, 3 HP, 2 power, 3 speed. This card is this card's a beating. Like,
this card's awesome.
With Whispering Essence on it, you draw 2, and then you're able to just like maybe even like pitch those 2 immediately that you get off this card and just to the whole board, everything but Shaman of the Gale.
Yeah,
it's very good.
This card's really strong. I mean, people have brought up the comparison, like, oh, why do you have like Little Breeze at 4 cost to like draw 2, and then you've got Shaman of the Gale is like basically the same card, but like not, but it is, but it isn't, and like, yeah, there are definitely some similarities. It's 4 cost, draws a card, cool, but like this thing just gives you such a big like decision point when you play it, right? It's like, what does the board state look like? Am I drawing? Am I trying to discard? Am I trying to kill things? Have I put an essence on this where like his stats matter a little bit more? I mean, he's got a decent stat line to start, but he's got a ton of CCC space to like play around with like what you're going to put on him, right? Like he can take Essence of Might, he can take Soulless, he can take Whispering, he can take, plus 2 HP. Like there's a bunch of stuff you can do with this guy to make him like fill different roles. And this is one of those cards that I really enjoy. Just like, oh, I've got 25 options for how I want to play this. It's the highest rarity. I can't bump it any higher. It's rare.
Make it epic.
No.
We get one.
Shaman of the Gale epic.
Shaman of all
capital
THE.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This card is sweet. I think that like having more cards like this would actually just make the game better. Like when you are reading a card, you're like, oh man, that's like so powerful, that's so good. That's fine. People want to play sweet cards. People want to play powerful cards. When I read a card like this, I think, okay, it is powerful, it is sweet, but like it also just has like, 20 different options for how you can play it that are all like super valid and super competitive, and that's my part that I focus on.
Here at Flawed Gaming Development, we believe in one thing: if everything is broken, nothing is broken.
I mean, that's kind of true, right?
This card is not Hurricane on a stick. Not even get out of here.
He's
not even close.
I mean, so it's
no.
not.
Hurricane caused me 4 sleepless nights. Shaman of the Gale is my homie. All right.
It's not going to deal 7, but it is capable of putting out some damage sometimes.
Yeah.
I'll say this. I'll go ahead and like tilt my hand a little bit. When this card was originally designed, it didn't say deal an equal amount of damage to all other units. It just said enemy units, and that was broken.
Can we please spoil a set 2 card already? These people are disrespecting the best epic unit in the entire game.
No. Even when set 2 spoiler season comes, however many months from now, we are literally spoiling that card last.
It is last, right? Its color combination and name is last, right?
It would be last.
It is last, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Literally the final card of set 2 to be spoiled is Raw.
Yep.
Who?
The guy that you are taller than.
Yeah, Griffin's taller than Raw.
Who's Raw? I'm sorry, I'm in set 1.
We got Sky Devotee here. This is a 3-cost unit human warrior. It's got Airbound, which gives it Steadfast. I'm not sure if we've talked about Steadfast a lot, but it's a defensive
a little bit,
minded ability. Just to recap it, Steadfast basically says you can defend without exhausting. Can be very useful in certain situations, but this guy has the added ability. Same text as Lightning Warrior. Whenever you play an air event, this card gains +1 power and +1 speed until end of turn. That's kind of a little bit of a sub theme. A lot of the warriors like care about you just like jamming, cheap spells. They kind of get gassed and juiced up for that. So. I mean, this is a card that could definitely take Blinding Essence. This having Steadfast means you can defend over and over and over again.
Make him a billion speed.
It's a nice mid-range threat.
Everything.
You can turn the corner with this, play some events, start attacking. Like this thing does it all. I like this card a lot.
This card sees so much play in any deck that roughly plays air.
Yeah, if you've got 6 air events in your deck, you can consider this guy.
Even if not, like this guy just fills like a nice like little 3-drop hole in like 2-color decks.
He's also like completely broken with burst of speed. Because like it triggers his effect there and gives him Swift Strike and gives him speed, so he's just like, I'm killing everything now.
Yep. Yeah, it gives him just like plus like 5 attack out of nowhere. There you go.
Yep. Sky Totem.
Also kind of a new card, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Very new, actually.
So Sky Totem for double air is a structure. Your units with speed less than this card's speed gain Swift Strike 1, 2 CCC, 3 HP, 0 power, and 3 printed speed. So you can
in fact get Blinding Essence,
which is pretty good, I would think. Just give all your units make Swift Strike 1.
The new chart just needs to be like, is it an air card? Yes. Is it good with Blinding Essence? Yes.
Yes. Put it in your deck.
Do I have to post it in the stream chat?
You can if you want. Did you actually just make one?
I believe you did.
Oh, okay. No, Sky Totem's really cool. So this is a card that's going to be way more interesting in those board.
No, don't post this one yet. They don't understand two of these cards.
Get that out of here, Jake. That's not.
Get that out of here.
Nobody's gonna understand that. But yeah, Sky Totem is definitely gonna be interesting because it's a passive effect. So like you can pump your entire team off this pretty reasonably. This thing can take Blinding Essence. It can also take Swiftness. It can also take like some other essences like Ingenious that'll give it an HP and a speed. I mean, there's a lot of options for this one. If your deck's,
you gotta be careful with it though.
If your deck's packed full of 2-speed units, like the Swift Strike's not going to be that good on 2-speed
Even just
units.
buffing it, like giving it infused, just even taking it to 4, like pretty much buffs your entire like deck. Minus the few that like get like a couple of plus speed for playing air events, like even 3 or 4 speed like is everything.
Taking it up to 4 and having a deck packed full of 3-speed units is going to be like an Earth deck nightmare. Like the you're just literally Swift Striking and winning every combat against all the like 2-speed thick boys.
And just so you know,
speed.
Go on.
You get this to 4 speed, make all your units 3 speed, and then just play the continuous event that decreases speed.
Yes, on
and
the
all of a
enemy
sudden
units.
you're winning.
Yes,
You're winning
you've
all
got a
combat.
big combo going there, and it'd be very effective.
This also stacks with other sky totems. So if you have 3 sky totems, they gain Swift Strike 3.
Yeah, and then they're just crushing everything in combat.
Combat doesn't exist anymore after
you
that.
You just can't defend anymore. Surging Warrior, this is like the small version of those other two. This guy's double air for a 2/2/2 and same line attack. So whenever you play an air event, this card gains +1 power and +1 speed until end of turn. Not a lot to talk about on this guy, but he's surprisingly serviceable. I've played him in quite a few decks and never been too upset at him being in my list.
A lot of these plus power and speed guys get a lot better the more sets are out, because you just obviously gain more access to a lot of different air events. Set 1 we're kind of limited, but once you get 2, 3, 4 sets in, you're just like, oh my god, my deck is 35 spells in my 15
like prowess.
Yeah. And my 15 guys that get bigger. Can we make a note to post that AJ went up like 30 decibels while eating his blink there?
Yeah.
No, I did it on purpose. So people understood that you can give 3+ attack.
The card that ties it all together. The card that makes
that you guys have referenced
possible.
48 times this entire stream, and no one has understood what is going on. I'll spoil it because I haven't said it yet.
Go for it.
Whispers in the Wind. For 1 air, it's an event. Draw 2 cards, then discard a card for 4 CCC and 0 printed speed.
This card's so good.
Literally, this card is turn 1, sculpt your hand.
Yeah. I mean, I've wondered if it's like too good, but I think it's not. I think that it being 0 speed means it takes an action a lot of the time. If you're adding a speed to it, it's still only 1 speed, and you have to figure out where you're fitting it in. Is your opponent really doing combat on turn 1 and giving the opportunity to play it? It's really. Kathy just leaned in over my shoulder and said, "Yeah, but what about research facility?"
Best improvement in the game.
I don't know if it is, man. I've been getting away from it. I'm trying to figure out ways to not play it because everybody else is playing it. Think about it. If everybody's wasting their shrine improvement on +1 speed on their events, but you just play events that don't care about it and then get something else, you're so far ahead of the game.
Yep.
You just get a free something else starting on turn 1. Come on. It's broken. But no, this card's really good. We said at the very top of the stream that air is all about this card selection, sculpting your hand. They have some floaters. They have a couple pluses. You saw Little Breeze. You saw Shaman of the Gale, some of these guys, and there's even one more we're going to see after this. But this card is a mainstay. This really helps those decks. These decks do what they want to do.
Just one of those staples in there to help the color combinations do what they need to.
There's another staple right here, Wind Whisperer for double air.
Oh my gosh!
He just
used my format.
God. He literally just invited it out.
Get roasted.
Does it have raw in the name? No, maybe. Yes, GG. Yes, trash. Yeah.
Man, I can't wait for the day we spoil Raw, and literally all these Raw haters are gonna be like, "Oh my god, we were wrong."
I hope
we were so wrong.
I hope. Yeah, Taylor just says take root every time.
Take root. I know.
I really hope that the faux conflict can exist long enough for it to come to a head, and then it finally be spoiled, never to just be like.
Oh, he was right.
Oh, there he is.
He was right. My God, was he right?
So everyone here has no idea what roll does, right?
Nobody. A handful of these. The people who have alpha tested know. The people who are coming on
TDMCP
board,
has not a clue what Raw does, but has been roasting me since day 1.
I kind of envy your innocence, dude.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, he hasn't been on the side of getting cracked. Wind Whisperer. It's double air for a unit human shaman. When this card enters play, you may draw a card. It has 4 CCC, 2 HP, 2 power, 2 speed. So this is what Ken was just talking about. Another one of those net 1 cards. Well, I guess it's really
it's a
net
floater.
neutral.
It replaces itself.
Yeah, it replaces itself.
It's a pretty meager body. This thing does not do nearly as much fighting as this does, for instance. Right? This card's gonna be much better at holding the ground / getting some combats in. Whereas this one, and I actually kind of don't like that they're so similar. I think I'm gonna need to make a slight adjustment to one of these, but. This card actually used to have a different stat line. It changed pretty recently. But anyway, this card is just a little bit of a value. You're gonna get chump block out of it. Whatever, you might hold initiative with it for a turn or two. This is just a nice little work it in play. Replaces itself. Whatever. I wouldn't necessarily say staple, but there are a lot of decks that look at this. This definitely fits. And I think we're coming up on the end. This might be the last card.
Yes, should be last card.
Should be.
Oh man.
Right, Wolf Wind
last
Shaman. 2 of anything in an air for a unit, human shaman. When this card enters play, you return target enemy unit to its owner's hand if it's exhausted. Has 1 CCC, 2 HP, 2 power, 3 speed. So this is just, as my cat throws my drink on the ground.
Nice.
This is this is literally just Gust on the creature, like same cost, but
yeah, it's
but
a
you
bit
just get a
more
little body with it,
right? Like Gust can target again, continuous
but
events,
like
items, structures, whatever.
Yeah,
this
this
thing
is just
can,
a unit version.
This can Gust.
So it's a unit, so it only
units.
targets unit.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense.
That's fair.
Makes sense in my brain.
No, there is no way to make your units instant speed. That is not a mechanic, and I hope to never make it a mechanic. I think that the nature of the game and the way that summoning sickness, so to speak, is a one action thing. I don't think that turning units into like flash units that could skip that one action is going to be like a little too broken. I'm pretty sure.
I don't play card games. What does that mean?
So in Magic, for instance, we'll just reference Magic. They have an ability called Flash, where your units essentially can be played like during combat or whatever, right? You can cast creatures as an event essentially.
Rogue.
And yeah, Cam's bringing this is a huge point, Cam, and thank you for noticing. It also would completely just turn action economy on its head, right? If I have any flash units in my hand, then the turn that I'm planning on playing those, I'm going to be basically guaranteed the prep because I can just like play my resource prep, and then if you do anything, I'm jamming a unit. If you don't do anything, then we just took a 2-action long turn where I plus the card, which is like
can't have that.
Just miserable for you ever, right? Yeah, it's not a good space. But no, Wolfwind Shaman's really cool. I'm surprised Ruben's not up in arms because he used to play this card a ton. This card's actually been pretty aggressively nerfed from its original version. But I think this is actually in a pretty good spot. It's only a 3 cost.
I hate it now. There he is.
The body's not bad. The body's actually pretty reasonable. It can be a big tempo play. It's got a ton of CCC space. I think that this card it's in a pretty good spot right now. I'm pretty happy with it. Ruben just likes OP aggro cards, so it's not surprised he liked the old version. But yeah, that's the last one as far as the air cards go. We'll probably get ready to wrap it up there. Back to what we were talking about at the beginning, the whole kind of concept of air, a lot of their stuff is about card selection, speed boost, swift strike, that type of thing. They have a lot of interaction that deals with the board, right? Exhausting units, like making favorable combats, swift strike, speed buffs, those types of things. They're one of the factions that can like fight for board presence probably best out of any, right? The flip side to that is their units don't tend to be super aggressive and powerful, trying to close out the game, right? So you're playing this kind of mid-range type of thing where you've got good card selection, you've got good board control, but how do you make sure that you can convert that into destroy the shrine, because that's ultimately the goal, right? But any last notes on any of this stuff? Do you have a play of the week, AJ? I'm not sure we actually talked about this.
Nah, not really, because we haven't really gotten to play too much this past week's been a little rough.
Yeah, that's fair.
But we did get more locals to play this past week.
That's true.
So
that's true. We had
that's always a plus.
A couple of awesome demos this weekend at locals. We also had a night here actually where
Jake and
Zoltan
and
Jake were playing some games in TTS.
Yeah, if we don't have a play of the week, I did
Yeah, go ahead.
I was pretty satisfied. I was playing that Siege deck that Kenny built.
Yep.
I ended up doing I think I only hit the guy once with an actual attack, because it's the shrine. What's the 5 cost name?
Siege Master, I believe, is the unit.
Siege Master. Yeah, that card is very strong. I ended up just tapping my Siege Master, hit him for 3.
Yeah,
and then,
you had double Siege Master secret passageways going, which is pretty insane. Pretty insane little combo.
Very gross.
But yeah, really, good stuff there. People starting to kind of get some games going. I'm really excited to see more players. Just to quickly reiterate, we've got the Patreon tier up now where you can get in there and actually get access to the game on Tabletop Simulator. Right now, it's got some pre-constructed decks on there that you can just kind of tool around with, and you can play with anybody. It doesn't even have to be other patrons. Once you have access to the table, you can load it up with your friends, family, whoever you got nearby. You can play games once you have access, and I want you playing those games. I want people to start interacting with the cards and seeing how it feels. Really get in there and try it out. So other than that, I guess we'll kind of call it quits there. Sign off for the week. Remember, next week is going to be multicolor cards. I'm super hyped for that. There's some real sick ones coming up. Might end up having to spend a little bit of extra time focusing on essences, but we'll get through it. No shrine, at least, to to have to spoil. So
one card.
Yeah. Until next time, I guess we'll like I said, shut it down there. And I really appreciate everybody. I'd like to say thanks again to all my patrons for being in here. I really appreciate the feedback and the good times. And we'll see you guys next time.